A mother hid a camera in her son's hair and sent him to school. What that camera caught changed everything. And what this mother did next is something every parent needs to see. For months, Phil Elementary in Louisville called Tiffany Lee with complaints about her son, Samaj, saying he was aggressive, combative, a behavioral problem. Samaj is 7 years old, has severe nonverbal autism, and cannot speak, family. And none of what that school was describing matched the child she was raising at home. Here's what I want you to understand. Schools have authority. They have staff, records, and official language. And when an institution keeps calling you with the same story, the pressure to just believe them is real. Most parents will back down. They'll start questioning themselves instead of questioning the situation. But Tiffany did not do that because she knew her child. Now, I want to be clear. What happened to Samaj is in a category of its own. What I am about to share does not come close to the severity of what that little boy experienced. But I do want to show you what it looks like when a parent stays alert, because active parenting starts long before crises. When my son was a year and a half, I enrolled him in a Montessori school near my job. One day I showed up unannounced to pick him up early, and I found my son isolated from the other children, sitting alone away from his class. And I asked why. The explanation they gave me was not acceptable. I went straight to the director. I pulled my son out that same day. We never went back. That is what active parenting looks like. You show up, you ask questions, and when something is wrong, you move on. Tiffany Lee did the same thing, just under circumstances that required far more courage, far more fight, and far higher stakes. When a nonverbal child starts showing signs that something is off, and the school story keeps changing, that's not time to go quiet. That is time to lean in harder. Tiffany leaned in, and that decision is the reason this story exists at all. Once Tiffany decided she wasn't going to take the school's word for it, she had to figure out what to do next. She couldn't send Samaj in to report back. He can't speak. So she ordered a small camera, clipped it into his locks, and sent him to school. She said it herself. I ordered a camera to be my son's eyes, his ears, and his voice.
This is going to be hard. I want to thank everyone for being here with me, my son's father, James. I appreciate everyone being here. This all started because over the course of months, I was flooded with calls and complaints about my child's behavior. Behavior that was not typical, not normal, and not something as his parents we had ever seen in our sweet child. As his mother, I knew in my heart something was not right. I ordered a camera to be my son's eyes, his ears, his voice. I secretly hid the camera in his hair and sent him off to school on May 13th. And when I said I hid it, this is the camera I hid. So let's be clear. I stand before you not just as a mother, but as my son's voice, Samaj Lee. And standing with me is his father, James Baker. While I will be the only one speaking today, we stand united as parents, fighting together for our son.
That's right.
Our son has severe nonverbal autism, meaning he cannot speak. People say they want the facts. What can you ask him if he cannot speak? But I can. I am his voice, and I will speak for him. We trusted his school to protect him, to care for him, and to treat him with dignity. Instead, he was harmed, silenced, and failed by the very people who were supposed to keep him safe. What I discovered on the camera footage is something no parent should ever have to see or hear. Our child was put in a situation where he was scared, overwhelmed, and powerless. And while this was happening, there was adults in the room who did nothing to stop it. This is unacceptable. So today, we are demanding accountability and change. I'm calling for a full, immediate investigation. Every teacher, every staff member who has access to my son must be interviewed. There needs to be a complete and honest review of what is happening inside these classrooms. We are demanding that the individual who assaulted our son be terminated immediately and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And not just him. Any staff member who witnessed this abuse and chose to stay silent must also be terminated. Silence is not a face of abuse and just to be quiet and keep it going. It's you being complicity. My son has severe nonverbal autism. He cannot speak, but I can. I am his voice, and I will speak for him. And this cannot stop with my son. We are calling for a Samaj law, a policy that requires cameras in a classroom that serves nonverbal and vulnerable children. Our children deserve protection, transparency, and accountability at all times, not just when something goes wrong. No parent should have to question whether their child is safe at school. No child should suffer in silence because they cannot speak. My son deserves justice, and we will not fight. I will not stop fighting until he gets it, until no other child has to change or has to go through this. I am his voice, his eyes, his ears. He cannot speak, but I will speak for him. Justice for Samaj.
A Louisville mother and father says their special needs child was abused at school, and now she says she has proof, and what she found she calls unacceptable.
Get over! Get over!
This video from May 13th, taken from a hidden camera placed between the dreads of Samaj Lee, an autistic special needs student at Field Elementary. Samaj's parents said for months they'd received phone calls and complaints about his behavior, which seemed unusual.
As his mother, I knew in my heart something was not right.
The boy's mother then took matters into her own hands.
I ordered a camera to be my son's eyes, his ears, his voice.
On this video, a woman mentions how she's leaving the room for a minute, while another staff member remains in the room with Samaj. And then you can hear the staff member firmly talking to him, followed by a series of noises while Samaj's head moves around.
Get off of me now. Get off of me now.
What I discovered on the camera footage is something no parent should ever have to see or hear. Our child was put in a situation where he was scared, overwhelmed, and powerless.
Play with you no more.
The staff member eventually told Samaj to get away, followed by more noises, causing the boy to start yelling.
Get out of here.
Lee is now calling for cameras to be installed in classrooms that have special needs and nonverbal students.
No parent should have to question whether their child is safe at school. No child should suffer in silence because they cannot speak.
And the boy's parents say they are demanding accountability from the district. A spokesperson for JCPS tells me the district is investigating and says the staff member has been reassigned.
This woman was not being sneaky for the sake of it. She was filling a gap that her son could not fill himself. And the footage that camera captured was exactly what she feared. A staff member speaking aggressively to Samaj, physical contact that should never have happened to any child, and a little boy with no way to stop it or tell anyone about it. People will debate the method, but nobody can debate the result. The footage led to an investigation. That staff member was reassigned, but in my opinion, they should have been fired. Other families came forth with their own stories. Without that camera, none of that happens. When I removed my son from that school, the situation was not the same as what Samaj faced, but the principle was the same. When you see something wrong, you don't wait for someone else to fix it. You act, you protect, and you move. Because when you are your child's parent, you are also their first line of defense. Love sometimes requires you to act, not just feel. When Tiffany held her press conference, she was the one speaking, but she made sure everyone knew she was not standing alone. I applaud her. She acknowledged her husband. She made it clear this family was standing together, unified. And I want to honor that because it surely matters. Institutions are very good at waiting out individuals. They count on people getting tired, getting discouraged, and just simply going away. But a unified family is harder to dismiss. Tiffany didn't stop at her own story either. She said, "This cannot stop with my son." She told the JCPS that silence is not just a failure to speak, it is participation in the problem. And since those videos went online, the council member's office started receiving calls from other families from Field Elementary and other schools across the district. One mother's voice opened the door for many others. Tiffany Lee did not just fight for Samaj. She built a standard that when your child cannot speak, you speak louder, you stand together, and you do not stop until someone is held accountable. Your child does not need a perfect parent. They need a present one, a watchful one who refuses to go quiet when something is wrong. That is what family still matters means. It means we show up, we stand together, and we use our voices for the ones who cannot yet use their own. If this video spoke to you, please like it, share it, and leave a thoughtful comment below. I read every one. The link to the video clips related to Tiffany Lee's story are in the description of this video. Go watch, go share her story. I'm Deborah, and this is Family Still Matters. And because family still matters, every child deserves a parent who will not be silenced, and every mother who stands up deserves to be seen. May God continue to richly bless you. God bless.